Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Bao News Network. We have very important news to share with you today. As we go forward, we're actually tracking the passage of the American Rescue Plan, which is going to be the $1.9 trillion stimulus plan that is being pushed through Congress at this time. We anticipate a vote very, very shortly in just a matter of hours. And as we take a look at the events of this week, we do realize that possibly the $15 minimum wage per an hour increase will not go through at this particular time, at least bundled with the $1.9 trillion stimulus plan. But we do anticipate that it will resurface, possibly as a separate bill in the very near future. But the primary focus of this update for our subscribers is to take a look at the effects of what will happen with the new $1.9 trillion stimulus bill that is going to be voted on very, very shortly. As you already know, the Democrats have a majority. At this particular time, there's been quite a bit of transitioning. We're still going through the process of confirmation hearings, so there's still going to be quite a bit of transition power that's going to be moving from one administration to the next. But the good news is that we are monitoring when you will actually possibly receive your next $1,400 stimulus check. So that is a primary focus of this update, and we're actually going to go into great detail to see exactly when this is actually going to be ending up in your bank accounts. So by all means, if you do appreciate this type of content and you do want to stay in the know as far as what's happening with our lawmakers and the congressional process for this stimulus plan, please by all means go ahead, like, share, and subscribe to this video, and we will continue to provide you with timely updates as we monitor the transition as far as of this bill through the different powers that be, in order to get this into the hands of the American people. And do keep in mind, we are in 2021, and a lot of people, millions of people, are still suffering. Unemployment rolls right now for those who are claiming unemployment benefits are still close to 19 to 20 million that we can account for. Do keep in mind that millions of other workers have pretty much stopped looking for work and have exited the labor market simply because of so many business closures, so much depression and contraction of the United States economy as a result of the pandemic. But other good news is in sight also. We are marking the 50 millionth vaccination at this time, and as we grow further, more and more companies, there are actually hundreds of companies that are actually competing to try and get their vaccine to the market, which is good news for the American economy as a whole. So if we actually take a look at what will be anticipated in this new bill, we do see that the $1,400 checks, they're trying to get the bill passed by March 12th. And why is March 12th so important? March 12th is so important simply because the current round of unemployment benefits, that extra $300 supplemental that goes to unemployed, expires on that pivotal day of March 13th. So if we were to take a look and see if it was passed by March 13th, March 12th, we do anticipate that the first round of direct deposits could start landing in people's bank accounts by March 22nd. So you are looking at the second week of March, possibly third week of March, when it's really anticipated by all bets, when if everything goes as planned as far as the passage of the American Rescue Plan being enacted and being signed into law by President Biden. So this is very, very critical timeline. So if we actually take a look at possibly a later passage of the bill, and it would be going into law somewhere around March 29th, March 22nd, when then we anticipate the first rounds of direct deposits will be actually going through on March 29th. Now keep in mind that there's going to be some kind of delay depending on the group that you belong in, whether you are receiving your whether you filed your 2019 or 2020 tax return could very well determine whether you will actually receive your check by direct deposit or you'll receive a paper check. Keep in mind, once this law is enacted, they have until December 31st, 2021 to get paper checks out. But for many people, that is just way too long to wait for a well-needed $1,400 stimulus check. Also, there's the EIP cards, which is electronic deposit of funds onto cards. Primarily, this was started for people who, for whatever reason, did not have banking information to prepare with their tax return. Also, if they don't have a bank account, then they can also receive some sort of electronic transfer to like a prepaid card or a deposit card of some kind. So these are very, very important dates that we are tracking. We want to see that if by all means this bill is passed by March 12th, that will spell a lot of relief for many of the unemployed, simply because it will actually increase the supplemental from $300 a week all the way up to $400 a week extra on top of what your regular unemployment insurance benefit you receive, and that is additional to what you're currently receiving, and it extends all the way through August. At this particular time, the way that the information was presented to us, the Biden administration was hoping for an extension from March through September, but the way it's framed right now, it looks like that $400 unemployment benefit will be mapped out to at least until about August. We're also looking at extra $70 billion going towards accelerating the vaccination process, another $350 billion that actually go towards states to provide for state aid, and billions of dollars will actually go towards small business grants, and also billions of dollars will go, very important sector as we try to reboot the economy and get workers back to work, will be child care. So this spells a unique opportunity in this pandemic. As you already know, many with the lockdown, many parents had to resort to providing their own child care services. So as we go back to work, even though many companies are still mandating that their workers can remain working remotely throughout 2021 and 2022, some companies have actually resorted to actually allowing their workers to remote work indefinitely. So there is a lot of encouragement on the horizon. We will continue to monitor the situation with this stimulus bill going forward. Keep in mind also, the stimulus checks are not the only benefit. There's also a child tax credit, which will go into more detail with the bill as far as reaching out to also additional dependents, up to $1,400 per dependent. Even adult dependents will be factored in. Keep in mind, in the previous bills, adult dependents were not factored in simply because of a cutoff, age cutoff. So there are a lot of encouraging news with this $1.9 trillion stimulus plan. Keep in mind, there's quite a bit of opposition on the Republican side, simply because they feel that it is not well targeted enough, even though the cap has been set for $1,400 going to single filers who make $75,000 and under, and in couples who make $150,000 per year and under. So there's a lot of encouraging news with the stimulus plan. We will continue to monitor the situation for you, keep you abreast as far as all the details, and we hope that there'll be a favorable vote in the next few hours. Of course, please like, share, and subscribe. This has been Bao News Network. Thank you.